Okay, guys, this is a cash flow system. What we're going to go ahead and discuss here, everything that we're doing here, it all comes together. It all starts to come into focus, doesn't it? Okay, so when it starts to come into focus, we're talking about actually getting deals done. Now, you know I always mask certain information, so I'm not going to go ahead and disclose where this property is located, but I do want to go ahead and just talk about the numbers of the property, talk about what the property is, and I'm also going to invite one of my acquisition team managers, Kevin, back up here. So Kevin, let's give him a round of a quick applause here, guys. Come on up, Kevin. Come on up here. Kevin's going to go ahead and we're going to just crunch the numbers real quick without the overhead. All right. So Kevin, I'm going to go ahead and Mike's up here. You're taller than me. Why don't you grab that? You need to just turn it on the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and ask some questions. Kevin's going to go ahead and answer some questions. Then I'm going to open it up and let you guys ask some questions as well, okay? So this is interactive back and forth. Okay, Kevin. So what kind of property is it, Kevin?
This is a self-storage facility.
Self-storage facility. How many units is it?
This is 111 units.
Okay. 111 units. No problem. Okay, cool. And what type of area? Low, mid, or high income area?
This is a medium income area.
Medium income. Is that good for self-storage? Yeah, absolutely. Because remember, guys, if it's too high, then that means that there's going to be luxury homes, expensive homes, and obviously maybe not so much a need for self-storage. If it's too low income, then possibly people don't want to flip the bill for the self-storage. So medium is right in there. That's where the money is, okay? So with that said, 111 units, medium income, self-storage. How big is the building?
I don't have the square footage on that yet.
That's fine, no problem. Okay, more importantly, asking price.
The asking price is $2.4 million.
Okay, you're my note taker. $2.4 million, the asking price. What's the next question, guys? What do you owe? What do they owe? What's the debt?
Owner owes $1.2 million.
$1.2 million. Okay. So is there room for seller financing from what they're asking to what they owe? Yes, the answer is yes. Okay. Possible good purchase so far. Now we know what they owe, 1.2. We know what they're asking, 2.4. What's it worth?
The current worth, it has an NOI of $162,200.
$162,200. That's the net operating income. And what's the market cap?
The market cap we figured out at 9, but the student believes actually that the real estate agent came back and said it was 8. So.
Okay, 8. So what is that going to be? What is the value of the property? Frank, do you have a calculator? $2 million. Okay, $2 million and change. $2 million and change. Now, right off the bat, that looks like a retail deal. Yes or no? Yes. So most people would look at that particular deal and say, it's a retail deal, let's go ahead and pass, right? Didn't I tell you that a lot of deals that are sitting on a lot of these websites out there are going to be advertised at retail price, right? And the whole thing about it, guys, is we're problem solvers. So being the fact that we know we're problem solvers, we're not investors, we're problem solvers, the one thing that we're going to go ahead and want to know is the occupancy, correct? The occupancy. So what is the occupancy in this particular one?
55%.
Ooh, 55%. 3 letters hit my head, MLO, master lease option. And you know, I have the master lease option made easy. That's what this is about. So what is market occupancy in this particular area?
The market occupancy is 89%.
89%. So you said it was at 55%?
Yeah, it's at
89%.
55%.
Okay. There's some room, don't you think? Okay. Now what about market rents? How are we looking on market rents?
I don't have a number on market rents.
Okay. Well, we do know now that we can go ahead and fill the vacancies. And that's huge. Again, what is the income?
The income is $162,200.
So the way the master lease option works is we go ahead and give a call to the seller and we say, Mr. Seller, under this current scenario, we understand that this is a non-performing asset. Write that down. Being the fact that it's a non-performing asset and you're asking retail price, we understand that you're probably having a little trouble selling this property. What we propose is something called a master lease option. Let me explain the concept in detail for you, Mr. or Mrs. Seller. We go ahead and become your one tenant, hence the name master lease. We become your one tenant and solve all of your problems. We guarantee the income that's coming through the door. Being the fact that we're guaranteeing the income coming in the door, we'll also go ahead and pick up the management expenses and handle the management on the property. Problem solved. And don't worry about selling your property either, Mr. or Mrs. Broker, because we'll take care of the broker fees as well. Consider it all done for you. How does that sound? Sounds great. Also, we'd like to get an option to purchase your property. For a very short period of time, we will go ahead and cash you out, and then you need to just go ahead and get the seller and find out exactly through negotiations what the seller is willing to sell the property for, and you let them know that for that price, for X, that price, you'll go ahead and pay that price under a certain timeline. So there's two things to negotiate: the price, the future price, and when you're planning on buying it. That's the purchase price and basically the terms. Okay, that's master lease in a nutshell. And the thing about master lease for this particular property, we can also perhaps raise the rents. Now, is there any additional land or anything else coming with this property? What are the perks?
No, there's no additional land. There is a land around it that's not utilized.
Okay. There's additional land around it that's not utilized. Remember, I said a lot of times we can go ahead and do an assemblage. We can look at all the additional land around it, put it to its highest and best use. We can go ahead and get in there, recognize that situation, and possibly get an option on that land to purchase it, increase the value by getting the plans approved, and then just wholesaling the contract, selling it. Remember we went over that in class? Okay, we have a question really quick. Let's get it on the mic real quick. Kevin?
If it's a storage facility?
Self-storage.
Self-storage. So with the 55% occupancy, isn't the self-storage less usually than 67 or 60-something that you said that it still would operate as a performing asset? So at 55, it's really not that much lower?
Depending on the debt. I get what she's saying. She's saying that it's a non-performing asset due to percentages. But guys, look, if this thing has current debt on it, what a performing asset it means is that it's covering its debt, and then also you're making additional cash flow on it. Now, there's a lot of debt on this property, is there not? How much debt? 1.2
It's 1.2. They're actually cash flowing very little, but they are cash flowing.
Very little. So in retrospect, yes, it is a non-performing asset. It is not a non-performing asset. I like to refer to it as a non-performing asset because in the seller's mind, if they're not cash flowing a lot, all they're going to say is, well, no, it's cash flowing a little bit, but, you know, they're not putting the effort forward, okay? Now, the student that has this deal, I'm not sure she wants to come up or not. That's up to her. Okay, come on up. Let's go ahead and give her a round of applause real quick. She'll stand next to you. Okay. And your first name? Jeanette. Okay. Hi, Jeanette. Thanks for coming up. Appreciate it. All right. So, Jeanette, if you feel, I do not want you to go ahead and give the state, the city, or the location of the property. Okay. But if you want to go ahead and let them know how you came across the property, whether it was networking, you found it online, if you feel comfortable discussing those details, that's fine.
Yeah, it was networking. I actually went to a home and met a broker and found out that he was really into commercial real estate. Went and met with him and told him exactly what I was looking for. And this is a friend of his. This is not listed. And so he and I have been emailing back and forth, and he sent me all the information. I just texted him, so he's very interested in helping his friend and client move this property, and he's given me a lot of insider information I probably wouldn't have had. So I'm excited, and I've got 10 other properties over there that he's given me information on. So
10 other properties just from networking. Is that powerful, guys? Right. Good job. It really is.
Yeah,
so we're going to get more information on this tomorrow, right?
Absolutely. We're going to get rent rolls tomorrow.
Rent rolls tomorrow. Okay. Look forward to it, partner. Good. So you can hold on to it. That's your deal. It's always your deal, okay? And now this is the thing. Hold on to that. Don't let that paper go, because that's a great lead that we're going to go ahead and follow up on. So some of the things that she's going to want to know, and I've already spoke with her about this, and thanks, Kevin. Appreciate it as well. Let's give Kevin a round of applause real quick, guys. Some of the things that we want to have her ask the seller, obviously, are what's the current market occupancy in the area, which we found out as well, and what are the average rents going for in the area, and also how long they've owned it for, their willingness to do the master lease option. Now, I like for you guys to go and find this information just by asking, but if you don't feel 100% comfortable to negotiate it, of course, that's what the heavy lifting's for. So I'm here. I want to talk a moment here about negotiations because it's a very powerful section of the talk. So let's go ahead and jump back in and dive into the books here, okay? Let's dive into the books. All right. So page 74 is where we're at. Page 74. Now, where we're at is under terms and negotiating. So by now you should have a very good feel of what a good deal looks like, how much potential equity and profit is required, because we've been going over it nonstop. Equity at closing, tremendous upside. We know it needs to be in a deal. So you should have some thoughts on how to get in there and structure it. Okay? Cell phones to vibrate, guys. Number one is the price. Number one's the price. We need to know, number one, in negotiations, how low will they go? How low will they go? Try to get the seller's bottom line. Make note of that. Try to get their bottom line first before proposing other terms such as a JV or seller financing. Do you understand how important that is? It is so very important to understand the first thing that we need to do is get them down on the price. Because first thing we do when we get them down on the price is we lower, write this down, we lower the seller's expectations. Now, when we lower the seller's expectations, we have the benefit of having the power to get in there and then ask for all of the above, which we're ready to cover now. Guys, negotiations is something there's very few people out there teach. There's very few people out there sharing these secrets that I'm going to share with you. And there's very few people that can get out there and structure and negotiate great deals the way that I've mastered through my strategies and techniques. Because the first thing that I do is get in there. And I don't like to call it beating them up on the price, right? But what I am saying I'm doing is I'm getting them down. It's almost like sending out lowball offers. Who here has sent out a bunch of lowball offers on residential and got bites on deals? Guys, it's basically no different. Don't be ashamed when you go ahead and offer too low. I tell the seller straight out, Mr. Seller, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and send you an offer, but I'm going to tell you now, the offer is almost going to be an insult. That's okay. They'll tell you, insult me. We need a starting point. Let me know. Let me know. Now what happens is originally they think that you're going to go ahead and offer them $3 million for a property. Now all of a sudden the property's worth $3 million. They think you're going to come down to maybe 2.5, 2.4. Maybe they could live with it. But when you hit them with a $1,050,000 hit for an all-cash price, they're going to go, no, 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 no. But they know that that's where you are for an all-cash purchase. So what are you telling them? You're telling them that an all-cash purchase is not the way that you buy. Do you understand the psychology behind that, the mechanics behind that? That's what it comes down to. You're telling them, hey, if I'm going to buy, it's going to be down here. So now what we do is this. The next step is, what do they need the cash for? That's the next step. What do they need the cash for, and how much and how soon? You know, what do you need the cash for? You just ask them. Look, I know you're motivated to sell. For an all-cash purchase, obviously it's not going to work. You know, I could give you an offer, but it's going to be really, really low, and I prefer not to insult you with my offer. Well, go ahead. Tell me what you want to buy it for. Okay, $1,050,000. It's worth 3.5. I'm already discounted at the 3. I thought you were going to come down to 2.5. I never, ever thought you'd come down that low. I'd never do that. Okay. You're still on the phone with me. You don't say that to them, but they're still on the phone with you. All right? Knowing their bottom line will help you negotiate the other terms you get from seller financing or doing a JV. That just sets the stage. Now think of this. This is the power of what I'm sharing with you here. Here's the secrets. Once you go ahead and hit them down low at $1,050,000, then you say, well, look, obviously this just isn't going to happen. And I'll tell you, there's a lot of other projects out there that are a lot like yours. There are. There will be. A lot of retail deals out there. They're everywhere. Not telling him anything he doesn't already know. But how about if we do this? Maybe you entertain doing a joint venture. Maybe you entertain doing a master lease. Well, how does that work? Tell me. Tell me how we can still do business. I haven't had any bites on this thing advertised at retail price. Tell me how it works. Okay. Well, on the JV, you contribute the land or contribute the project. We bring in the capital resources and the rehab work or the development, and then we'll go ahead and pay you out more, but you got to wait a little while to get paid. Well, how much more? Let's talk about the price. Then what you do is you take them from that $1,050,000, you bring them back up to the $3 million, and if you can realize future upside on the project, say it's going to be worth somewhere in the realm of $5 million or $6 million, then we can come a heck of a lot closer to the $3 million figure. Saying that's the only way that I can make this project work, and that's the only way that we can come to terms. And I'll tell you right now, it's either a deal or a dud. And most of the time, the duds will come back to you and form themselves into deals because the thing's going to already have something called DOM. Write that down. That's days on market. The longer a property sits, the less desirable it is. I don't care if you have beachfront property. The longer the property sits, the less desirable the property is. All right? It just is what it is. Now, negotiations are one of the most difficult tasks to accomplish when it comes to getting a deal done. I actually think it's 90% of the equation, personally myself. I feel that negotiation is 90% of the equation. Just like the deal we just discussed. The master lease option, 55% occupied, 45% vacant. There's huge upside in that property. I already know that. There's cash flow in that property, and that's what we're here doing. Cash flow, right? So the thing about it is you got to convey the right message the right way. Fortunately for you, I'm here to share it with you, and I'm here to do it for you. If you plan to negotiate your own deals, and the other parties involved, make sure you're getting what's owed to you. That's true. In other words, in a nutshell, if you're getting out there and you're negotiating the deals, and you're the master negotiator, and somebody else brings you a deal, and they say, Frank, you're bird dog. I need to do this deal, but I need you, Frank. I need you to negotiate the deal for me. I tried to ask for subordination, and the guy didn't know what the heck I was talking about, and I tried to get it across to him. He still didn't know what I was talking about. Can you explain it? And you get in there and you negotiate the deal and get subordination. Okay? You're entitled to a piece of that deal because you put together 90% of the equation. Do you agree? You guys should agree that's 90%. That's the meat. That's the meat. All right? Now, we know the 6 steps of the deal. Find it, evaluate it, negotiate and structure it. And negotiate and structure, guys, this is a recap. Negotiate and structure is the meat. Fund it, do the deals, and the exit strategy. Look, if you negotiate the right deal, OPM is a non-issue. It's a mute subject, right? Whether you go get it from there, you get it from here, you get it from my financiers, wherever you get the money, the right deal structured with the right mechanics is where it's at. Not yet. So, when you're, page 75, when you're speaking to brokers and owners, you must adjust your monotone. You need to. There's things called suggestive pauses and things called uncomfortable silence. You must be a chameleon on the phone. If they're talking soft, respond soft. But you still need to be firm in a particular manner. If they talk fast and really hard, then simply adjust and give them equal monotone. But keep your posture and always be professional. All right? I learned that one a long time ago. My 3 sisters used to kick my butt. So I always have to adjust my monotone. This is the way it works. If a seller's on the phone, or broker, and the broker's sitting there not wanting to put you on the phone direct with the seller or not wanting to give you information. The broker feels that you're a time waster for any reason. What you need to do is simply hold back and just let them have it. No offense to brokers in the room or watching these DVDs. Guys, you simply tell them, look, and somebody came up to me and they said, I just went and called on this deal and the broker wouldn't give me any information on the deal, right? Just short with you? Yeah? Stand it.